Hey guys, I'm Elliot. This is Everything Elliot, and today we're visiting Western New York's largest maple syrup producer, Boxler's Maple Farm. So here in Wyoming County, New York, they produce, I don't even, you know what? I don't know how many thousands of gallons of syrup, but if you've had syrup in probably the Northeast, there's a good chance these guys have produced it. We're gonna meet the owner today, the guy that makes all the maple syrup, and he's gonna tell you about the entire process, how they do it, and everything they do it with. All right, so I am here with Warren Boxler, and he is the owner-operator of Boxler's Maple. So Warren, I mean, this is quite the operation you got going on here. Can you just give me the simple rundown? How many trees do you have tapped?
So, I mean, we've been building our business for 30 years now, my father and I. And this year we added on 25% more trees from last year, and we're up to like 47,000 taps.
47, so that's 47,000 trees, or do you put multiple taps on them?
Not trees. I mean, some trees, if you can't touch your fingers when you wrap your arms around them,
yep,
it'll get 2 taps.
Wow.
Because it's big enough, it can handle it.
Okay.
We have some trees that have 3 taps on one tree, and they'll produce like 3/4 of a gallon of syrup per tap.
Wow.
So we have some trees putting out 2¼ gallons of syrup a year.
So you would, I mean, so we could probably say you have, let's say 30,000 trees tapped, maybe 20,000?
It'd probably be more. There's maybe 25% of the trees have 2 or more taps.
So a ton of taps. And how many acres does that take you?
Roughly, it's like 1,000 acres.
1,000 acres. And that's not all owned, right? You lease some?
Yeah, we own all of it.
So I know that, because obviously I know you, but I know that your family's big into farming. Now, this acreage that you're buying, is that just for maple production?
Yes, yeah, we're buying. We like to find woods where there's no fields attached to it, so we're paying for just woods.
Cheaper that way, probably?
Yeah, well, so we bought a woods 2 years ago, and there was 30 acres of field, but we don't do anything with that.
You can't do anything with it, yeah.
So, I mean, you could rent it to a farmer, but that's still, it's not worth buying it.
Right, yeah. So, you tap the trees, and obviously this, for somebody that doesn't know, this only happens in springtime, right? This is your push, right? We are in spring right now. Maple Weekend is next weekend. And how does it exactly work? So it gets cold at night and warm during the day, and that's what you want to get the sap out of the tree? How does that?
Yes, yeah, you need that freeze-thaw cycle every day, preferably. It's kind of like a reset. When the tree freezes, I say it resets them.
Yep.
Because then when it warms up, it'll run like a gallon of sap per tree, or per tap. And then if it doesn't freeze, that sap output actually starts slowing down.
So the sap is being produced during the warmer hours of the day?
Correct, yeah.
Oh.
When it freezes, it's like water. It freezes up solid.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah. So what kind of, so it's mostly water though, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then with a very low sugar percentage?
Yeah, it's like 99 to 98% water.
And
there's only 1 to 2% sugar, and it's crystal clear when it comes out of the tree. It looks like water.
Okay.
If you drink it, it's a little sweet.
Okay.
I mean, it's
right.
good.
Right?
But
yeah.
It doesn't taste like maple syrup.
Okay. So that's naturally why you boil it down,
yeah,
right?
You got to concentrate it.
So you have all these taps all over the place. Obviously, it's not coming to one central location. How do you, so you pick it up, and how does that work?
Yeah. So
and you're not using gravity, are you?
No gravity. Everything's on a vacuum pump with lines, tubing going to every tree. Because you'll produce up to like 5 times more with a vacuum system than just a bucket on a tree.
Okay. So then you suck it out, and there's some massive holding pot somewhere near the road, I assume?
Yep. So right at the sugar house here, we have 3 silos. 2 are for sap. 1 is for permeate, and the top section of the permeate tank is the concentrate tank. So there's actually 2 tanks in the 1 silo.
Okay.
But
so the 3 tanks outside, 2 of them are for holding, just storage, and then 1 is
and the permeate water is the crystal clean, drinkable water coming out of the RO.
Okay.
but we need that water. We save it so we can wash the RO when we're done concentrating the sap.
Okay. Lot of abbreviations going on here. A lot of abbreviations. All right. So the truck.
So the RO.
So back it up. You've got tanks at the road, and then you truck it in here, right?
Yes. Yeah.
With
we have
like milk haulers.
2 milk trucks.
Yeah.
Straight trucks, and they haul the sap. We have 2 trucks running right now, gathering the sap.
Here's a great question for you. Is that so? When the truck fills up, is it full when it comes here, or will it come half full? Oh, it's full.
Usually full.
So it goes to one holding tank up at the road somewhere, and it fills up the entire thing.
Yeah. On
Holy
a good day, all our holding tanks will be filled twice a day.
How many gallons are your holding tanks?
Right at the sugar house, we have 40,000 gallons of storage, and we have 11,000 taps going into it. So that 11,000 taps alone will fill 1 silo in a day.
So if you get sick one day and miss a day,
you can't get sick. There's
right?
No,
You'd be overflowing. I mean, you would literally be overflowing. You would have to dump it. I mean, what would
in my eyes, it's dollar bills going on the ground. It's
holy cow,
and it's very short window to do all of this.
Right, and this is your life, right? So this is make or break for you. I mean, this is what you do.
Yeah.
So there's
no taking the day off and going to a birthday party or anything like that. It's if the sap is flowing, you have to.
Right, and to be clear, for me to get 10 minutes with this guy was near impossible. So I want to tell you how busy he is, and we're trying to fly through this so he can get back to work. There's literally a truck here unloading now, and some people might not know this.
I'm going to put him to work once he's done, just to make up for this.
Yeah, and most people know this, but you bring in 40,000 gallons of sap doesn't mean you get 40,000 gallons of syrup, right? Because it's at 98% is water. So what does it kind of work out to be?
So imagine a 55-gallon drum of sap. You concentrate that down into 1 gallon of syrup. So it takes that much sap.
Okay. And how many? So this is your boiler behind us, right here. This is the boiler.
So this is the evaporator.
This is the evaporator. Okay.
This is a steam evaporator.
Okay.
It runs off of steam. There's a boiler in the back.
Okay.
That we use diesel fuel to create the steam.
So what I'm calling a boiler, that is this, right?
Evaporator, yes.
This evaporates.
Technical term is evaporator.
When I think of boiler,
in the syrup industry, you're boiling it.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. We're on the same page here. This is the evaporator. This is where the magic happens. So your sap flows into here. It's heated by a boiler in the back that's heated by diesel fuel oil.
So this pan gets filled up with about 7 inches deep of sap.
Okay.
And then there's 1-inch stainless coils inside there. So the steam runs inside them coils.
Okay.
And the sap's on the outside. And the sap, boils the water off.
Wow.
Yeah, you can I can show you inside of there.
I'd love to look.
So you can actually see the coils.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, all right, I see. That's like, was there 1 inch, you said?
Yep, 1-inch stainless coils.
So how much sap will go into here? Like
just deep enough to cover the top,
the fins?
The top coil.
Oh, okay. So lower than that. What is the point of the fins?
The dividers?
Yes.
It creates a channel. So instead of having one big pot and it all mixing, it gives it a channel so it keeps concentrating as it flows through the evaporator.
Okay.
And when it gets to the other end, it's finished syrup.
Oh, so it's that. So it just takes one pass through, and by the time it gets through, it's done. It doesn't have to essentially it is sitting in here because it's moving back and forth, but there's no time for
Yeah, it probably takes about 20 minutes for the sap to
get from point A to point B.
Correct.
Wow. Holy cow. What and
this
does sap boil at 212 degrees like water does?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, because it is water.
Well,
right?
you have to go about 7 degrees above the boiling point
to get the evaporation.
To get it to syrup.
Wow.
So when it's at, say, 217 degrees, between 217 and 219, that's finished syrup.
And this thing, this is technology right here. So is this thing pretty much automatic? Do you kind of set it and forget it and sit here and just monitor it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, the biggest thing I keep track of is the draw-off. The draw-off valve on the front of it.
Okay, what's that?
So this is the draw-off valve. It's controlled by temperature. The hotter the syrup gets, the more the valve opens. So right now it's set at 217 degrees. So at 217 degrees, the valve starts to open. And if it starts reaching like 218, it'll be like half open. 219, it'll be fully open.
Okay.
And there's times it'll
And this is
fully open.
This is where the syrup's going to be rolling out of here.
Yep.
Okay. And so is this just like a syrup holding pan kind of thing? Is that what we
So
got?
when it's finished syrup, this is the draw off tub, we call it. Draws off into here, we mix a filtrate powder in, diatomaceous earth, and that actually acts as the filter. So any sediment, debris that's in the syrup gets taken out by that sand. Yep. And then there's also papers that catch that filtrate.
Is that what kind of you have going on in that mess over there?
Yes.
The one thing you said don't show.
I got done at 3:30 in the morning last night, and yeah, we were cleaning the press, and it's falling out of the plates. I mean, it was a mess. I was so tired. It's like
That's a great question. So, why do you only boil at night or evaporate at night? Why is that a thing? Because that's what I always see. All of them are always going at night. Why is that?
So when it's daylight out, we're working in the woods, fixing squirrel bites, fixing all the lines that the squirrels chew on.
Okay.
So we have, like say 500 miles of 5/16 lines.
What's your trunk line come out to be? I know we're jumping all over the place here, but what's your trunk line? Is it like a 2-inch line?
The 5/16 line goes around the tree, and then that will hit like 5 trees before it connects to a 1-inch main line. And then that 1-inch main line branches off into an 1.5-inch wet and dry line. So you have a wet line, we call it on the bottom, that's 1.5 inches, and then an 1.5 inch dry line. And they're both vacuumized, but the sap stays on the bottom, and the top line allows vacuum to get to all of the woods.
That's super interesting to me. I mean, just the
So if your
technology
sap line
that's
was to
involved.
fill up, it doesn't cut the vacuum off to
Right.
the rest of the woods.
Okay.
It's actually a really good system. Any system we're running that in, you make a lot of syrup.
Oh.
It's just a matter of getting the sap out of the tree and away from the tree to keep it flowing.
Yeah, I mean, have we had conditions either this year or in previous years where you couldn't keep up? Does that happen? Or are you pretty well set up here that like you're ahead of yourself?
I mean,
because I imagine you have to scale like your equipment with the amount of taps, right?
Yeah.
Well, there'll become a time where this is too small, right?
Correct. Yep.
So like,
But we have a lot of room to grow with this. I kind of say this thing will handle 100,000 taps, but you got to run it almost 24/7. So, but right now we have 47,000 taps, and we run it 6 hours a day, 6-7 hours.
And in that 6 hours, how many gallons of sap will you go through?
I would say about 30 barrels of syrup, 30 to 40.
So times 55, right? Because that'll
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, it's total sap.
I'd have to run the calculator to
Yeah, I don't,
figure that
math
out.
ain't my strong suit either. So, wow.
So these are, once the syrup draws off, I mean, it's super hot.
Yeah.
And then we got a little air motor that agitates it, and we'll add in the filtrate powder.
And that's what the press is for then, right? Because that you put that this filter material in here, and then you take the material out because it'll be thick, won't it? It won't be like syrup thin, right? Because that's what, and then you put it in the press, or am I way off?
No, yeah, it's super thick. I mean, it's ready to go on the pancake, other than it's not filtered.
Yeah.
So we run it through the filter press. So yeah, these papers go inside of here. So these papers catch all the debris. They'll catch that filtrate powder and any sediment.
But
they eventually get plugged up.
So it gets piped in here then, and then gets pressed through the
Yep,
surface.
it comes out of the draw-off tank into the press, and it gets pumped through with pressure, just about 50 psi. And it goes through that and goes into the bricks equalizer tank, we call it, which monitors the density of the syrup.
Is that because that's what it's called right
Yes.
there? That's why we call it the bricks equalizer? Yeah.
It checks the density of the syrup. If it's too thick, it'll form solid, clear ice, or solid, clear sugar crystals on the bottom of your syrup jug if it's too thick. And if it's too thin, it'll spoil.
Oh.
So this gives us a digital display so we kind of know exactly where it is.
What happens if it's either of those things? Then what? How do you fix that?
So if it's too thin, you boil it more.
Okay.
to make it thicker. And then if it's too thick, this will inject a tiny amount of permeate water
Oh,
to bring it
so
back
it's
down.
so it besides having to evaporate it again, if it's too thin, it'll handle it itself. Correct?
If it's too thick, it'll handle it. If it's too thin, you kind of got to watch out, because if it's too thin in this tank, you'll have to draw off heavier syrup, thicker syrup out of the evaporator
Gotcha.
to bring this back up.
Gotcha. And then standing, well, not standing, but placed behind us are a bunch of, what are these, 40 gallon?
40.
Yeah, these are 40 gallon, and this is finished syrup?
Yep, finished filtered syrup, ready to be sold.
Is this from last night?
Yeah.
So you did all of this last night?
Yep. And it was a slow night.
Slow night. So then what happens with all of this stuff?
We can walk to the back barrel room, and I can show you where we stack it. So we'll run it across this scale, weigh it, and write the grade of the syrup, whether it's golden, amber, or dark color. And then we put it in the barrel room.
Just put it in the barrel room.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
I figured we can fit 1,100 barrels in here. But then we had the bright idea of buying these 3 syrup storage silos instead.
So is that just bulk?
Yep.
Bulk syrup
This
storage.
is considered all bulk.
Right.
Like we'll sell the barrels on tractor trailers
Wow.
to a
So-
syrup packer.
So will you store this for all year and sell it off throughout the whole year? Or will this all be sold in the next 2 months?
We've been selling to one guy. He's been buying our syrup since the beginning.
Your entire stock?
Pretty much, yeah. And
What's he do with all that syrup?
he sells it wholesale to other producers. Like he'll fill up a blank jug and resell it, or he'll label it his own brand, and he sells it all over the world.
Wow.
The guy we sell to is the biggest packer probably in the world. I know back 5 years ago, I heard he was going through like 200 plus tractor trailer loads of syrup.
So he's buying it from you and from...
we made 6 tractor trailer loads.
Wow.
So
That's impressive. I mean, that's got to make your life a little easier, though, and like you probably feel more comfortable.
yeah, if I had to sell all of this retail, I couldn't. I mean, I could.
Well, you do sell some
but
retail,
I'd
right?
really have to push it.
You do label some yourself and sell some yourself, right?
Yeah.
Do you just like do local farm markets or like?
Mainly online.
Oh,
We
okay.
sold like 2 barrels at a farmer's market, which is nothing.
Right. That's like grocery money, right? That's nothing.
It's like going out to eat at the restaurant one time.
Cool. So I actually saw your what I want to call a canning operation, but can we go take a look at that? Were you packing
Yeah.
up your own syrup?
I mean, this is just very small scale,
Yep.
kind of like a hobbyist setup, because we're more into selling bulk syrup,
Right.
not retail.
Well, that's
syrup.
probably the only way to really make money at this. I mean, is unless you're buying it and
Well, no, there's probably more money in retail, but you need manpower and
Right.
you need the setup.
your shelves here. This is probably for Maple Weekend, right? You got this all ready for Maple Weekend?
Yep.
Because you
Yep.
normally wouldn't have this sitting here, would you?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, we normally have one shelf with syrup products, but not this much because we don't really sell much in here.
And then the magic happens over here. So this is this is not obviously not a press, but what do you call this?
So the
machine?
hot syrup goes into this.
Yep.
We call it a canner.
Okay.
And you just fill it up with syrup, and then you put your empty jug underneath the nozzle, and then you push this pedal, and it comes down, pushes that up, and the syrup flows into the jug.
Simple as that, huh?
Yeah. And then you screw the top on. But bigger packers, like the guy we sell to, he's got a whole,
I assume it's all
like a
automated.
factory, assembly
automated,
line.
Yeah.
It's major.
Cool. I'm trying to. Is there anything else I missed about the entire process? I mean, it's really not a difficult process.
I mean, the only
is it?
thing we didn't look at was the RO, I guess.
The RO.
Reverse osmosis machine.
Reverse osmosis. Let's go
Yeah.
talk about the RO.
Yeah.
So we have obviously a lot of mechanical stuff here. What is this thing?
So this is the reverse osmosis machine.
Okay, so this is the RO. This.
Yep. The raw sap gets pumped into this, and the sap going in will be 2% sugar, the rest is water. And this will concentrate it up to about 25% sugar.
So you're
it
saving
cuts
a lot
down-
of time with the steam
Boiling.
evaporator by doing this.
Yeah.
Forcing it through filters and
Yeah, you need this machine to process this much syrup. Because otherwise, like we'll boil I mean, raw sap will have 1.5 million gallons of raw sap coming in.
Oh my God.
So to boil that off, you couldn't do it.
Right.
So this will concentrate it down into, say, 75,000 gallons of concentrate sap, and then you boil that, and that'll turn into 22,000 gallons of finished syrup.
What are you doing with all the water? Filling your pond out back?
Yeah, Dad wanted to. He said we should be filling it.
Right? Like, I mean, what are you doing with it?
Well, it's perfectly clean, drinkable water. Like, it's pure water, like water bottle grade water coming out of this. And it just goes down the drain.
We got so much water in Western New York, just like I told you guys about my drain tile, we got so much water, we just throw it away. You should fill the pond,
You do throw it away, because we drill the well 1,500 feet below the sugar house to feed the sugar house.
Yeah.
For the bathrooms and stuff, and the water level, after we drilled the hole and put the pipe in, the water level was 2 feet above ground. So the well casing is 4 feet above the ground.
Because the water's so close.
And the water actually came up 2 feet.
It's got some ground pressure there. That's what we call that, ground pressure.
Yeah, the water's trying to press out of the ground.
So, and then we've got what I assume is your steam boiler over there?
Yep.
Yeah, so this is a unit. How many BTU is this?
11 million BTUs.
To give you an idea, the heater in my shop is 300,000 BTU, and that's the biggest one they make. So this is 11 million. That's a lot more BTUs. British thermal units, if you're not familiar.
12 million.
12 million. He was off. He was off by a whole million in the wrong direction. Man, what other application would this be? Like, is this it?
This boiler actually came out of a pharmaceutical company where they had 9 of these things lined up and to make, pharmaceutical stuff.
And are these your where's your fuel tanks? Like, where's your fuel?
We just have a fuel.
Oh, we just have a whole tractor trailer outside. We just have a whole fuel tank. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Oh, this is, let's go look at this. So I assume this is all tap line.
Yes. Yep.
Wow. How many miles did you say you have out there?
I don't know. I'm guessing 500 miles.
500 miles. Holy cow.
It's ridiculous.
Is this much different than like PEX tubing?
Yeah. This is really soft.
Oh, it's soft?
Let me try to find a little piece. Oh, right here.
Oh, it's like rubber, not rubber, I guess, but like fuel line almost, I guess.
Yeah, so all of this wraps around the trees. You'll wrap around, say, 5 trees. And then, sap just runs inside that.
Is it pretty easy to splice if a squirrel bites through it? You just cut it? And...
So you just cut it, and the fittings have barbs, and all you do is press it on. There's no clamps or anything. But you press it on, we have a tool that does it.
Right.
But then once it's on there, you can't pull it apart. Like, it'll never come off these parts.
So, I used to live in Vermont, and this was huge in Vermont, and the problem that we had up there with these lines running through the woods like this was moose. Because moose would constantly walk through. Do you have problems like that with deer?
Yeah.
Because we don't have moose here. There's no moose here. But
the biggest problem are squirrels.
Chewing on
They'll chew on it and put little nicks in it, and it's a leak, a vacuum leak.
And then you obviously...
So it'll suck sap in, or suck air in.
How do you know that happens?
So we have a gauge on all the vacuum pumps.
Oh, and you know how many inches of
maximum vacuum in our area is 28.6 inches of vacuum.
Yep.
So if it drops down to 25, we know there's
an issue.
It'll drop to 0 if you have enough leaks.
And then you got to walk the entire line looking for it.
Yeah.
So that's what you do all day.
Yeah. That's what I'd be doing right now.
If I wasn't taking your time filming a YouTube video.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I think that seems like the entire process to me. I mean.
Yeah, that's 90% of it. And
the other 10%
without going to the woods and actually showing you.
Right. Now, we don't need to do that. He's got way too much stuff to do. So
everything in the sugar house is like half of the operation.
Yeah, the labor, the laborious part is in the woods.
Yeah, in the woods.
One question for you. Once you set up the lines, do they stay up or do you take them down in the summertime?
They stay up for 20 years. And then you got to replace them.
Wow. Okay. Well, Warren, thank you for your time, buddy. I appreciate it, but I'm going to let him get to work. This is insane. So if you guys are here for Maple Weekend and you're checking things out, they also have some ice cream for you. So the Maplery Ice Cream Bar is opening up as well, and we've got the owner right here, Becky.
Hello, welcome.
Hi. And your daughter?
This is Aria. She is our general manager.
General manager, wow, okay.
So if you have a problem, you're gonna have to deal with her.
File complaints with her, yeah. So how many flavors do you have?
So we have about 12 traditional flavors. So your normal Perry's ice cream, chocolate vanilla. We also have our parlor collection, which we have 10 alcoholic flavors. They all are up to 5% alcohol. One of our signature flavors is called Boxler's Tapped and Tipsy. It's a maple bourbon with salted pecans. And I think everyone is going to enjoy that one for Maple Weekend. We also have a traditional maple flavor that also has maple sugar in it. And that's a traditional no alcohol, so everyone could enjoy that. And correct me if I'm wrong, but all of your maple-based ice cream is from the maple syrup that's produced here, right? So all of the maple in our maple ice creams have our Boxler maple syrup in it.
And from what I'm seeing in the background over there, it's not just going to be regular ice cream. Looks like you got some sprinkles.
We have lots of toppings. We could do signature sundaes. I'm going to be doing a maple sundae for Maple Weekend. We can do a maple milkshake, a signature maple milkshake with all of our toppings on it. We could be doing hot fudge sundaes, all of your traditional ice cream flavors, right?
Now, do you have your ice cream scooping license? Do you need to be certified? I know, is it like a forklift? You got to be certified for that?
You got to get a license to work here, right?
You got a scoop? Yeah, a scooping license.
It's very hard to get.
Small, medium, large? Are we offering all these different sizes?
Yep. So our traditional flavors come in 1, 2, 3 scoops, and then our parlor collection, you can do 1, 2, 3 scoops, or we also have a flight of ice cream, so you can do 4 scoops.
Oh, I'm familiar with those. Like, so when you go to the bar and you want to get a bunch of beers.
Yeah, you got to try them all.
I like that. I don't know if I've ever heard of an ice cream parlor doing that before.
They're not common. We are one of the only people in the area that have this.
Oh, wait a minute. You got soft serve too?
Yes, we do. Would you like some? Aria, why don't you get him some?
Sure, we can try some. Oh, wow. Okay, that's enough. That's plenty of ice cream.
Should we put some maple sugar on it?
Sure, let's try. Wow.
All right, you do it.
All right, let's see. Let me get behind the, I shouldn't be in the producing area. Let's try this here. Tucker, you can hold that for me, buddy. Let's try this out.
All right.
Color changing spoons?
Yes.
Stop. That's good stuff. I like the maple sugar. That's really, really good. How's that made?
We make it out of our maple syrup. You heat it up really high temps and it becomes a solid.
And then just break it up?
Yep, so we make granulated sugar, and when you sift out the big pieces, we save it for the toppings.
That is super good. You want to try some? You mind sharing a spoon with me? Okay. I brought Tucker with me, so we've also got him. Brooke, you don't want to be in the picture? What do you think, Tucker?
That is amazing. That might have been the best ice cream I've ever had in my life.
Oh, wow. Okay, you heard it here first, folks.
Yup. That is amazing.
Best ice cream Tucker's ever had in his life.
That's right. You gotta come visit us.
All right, anything else you want to tell us about your ice cream?
Will you be here Maple Weekend scooping up for people? Yeah. Yeah?
Yeah? Hopefully Mom's paying you well. Is she paying you in ice cream?
Ice cream all the time.
Good. All right, well, thanks for showing me your ice cream, and I hope Maple Weekend goes well for you guys.
Thank you. Thanks for visiting.
All right, guys, well, that's all my time here at Boxler Maple. This place is seriously impressive, and honestly, if you didn't catch anything and you have some questions, make sure you leave a comment below. I'll do my best to answer them. I mean, he just knows so much, and he talks like I should know that much. But I'll do my best to answer them, so leave that comment down below. And make sure you guys come check these guys out for Maple Weekend. If you're watching this in the future, Maple Weekend happens every spring. you could just kind of Google New York State Maple Weekend. It's all across the state, and you can come visit all the huge maple farms, especially Boxler Maple. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you on the next one.